What is up, guys? I've got a very special guest with me today. In the hot seat is Mr. Ronzo, and he's here for a mock driving test. Why do you want to do a mock test?
Because I got my, real test coming up soon, so...
Yeah, how soon? Do you want to tell them? Is it a secret?
It's a secret still.
Okay, you don't want people to put the pressure on you.
It's coming up, though. It's coming up. It's coming up.
Coming up in a few months or less than that?
In less than a month.
We can expect a pass certificate on the channel from you in a few weeks, yeah?
Definitely.
All right, good.
I hope so.
Well, you said that you were quite confident.
I'm confident. Because obviously I've got my own car, which, I practice in quite a lot, but this is a, Mercedes. I'm not really used to driving.
The excuses are coming out now.
No, it's not an excuse, but this is, I'm new to this, you know what I'm saying? This is literally my first time driving in like a Mercedes, so,
We've driven a little bit around your area.
Yeah.
Had a little warm up. I've shown you the little different bits and pieces in this car, like the weird parking brake that's in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Bit different to your car though, right?
It is.
You drive a Corsa, not just a normal Corsa.
Not just a, no, I wouldn't say, my Corsa's different.
Ronzo didn't just go for the normal Corsa, the beat up old learner car.
Nah.
He went for the VXR.
Yeah, so you get me, it's quite fast, got a bit, for my first car.
Quite fast, the VXR shifts.
Yeah, it's quite good still. For my first car especially, I'm happy with it.
You must have paid a lot of insurance on that, right?
I did.
10,000 plus. Because you're not even 20 yet, are you?
Nah, I'm not, 18.
An 18-year-old in a VXR is going to pay a lot of insurance.
Yeah.
Which is why your first car's normally something small, something old, something beat up, so that the insurance is not too expensive. But you were like, no,
not me though, man.
I don't follow the crowd. I'm different.
Got a ride in style, even though it's not like a Lamborghini.
It's not a Lamborghini.
What was your first car?
My first car was a 2-litre Mazda 626 with a spoiler on the back in racing green.
I was gonna try and say, I thought you was gonna have like a rubbish car, so I was gonna say.
It was a really nice car. I went out the exact same day that I passed my test, and I bought that car.
I swear.
And I was shifting it around the streets.
Yeah. See me, man, hopefully.
Good times. You passed your theory test first time, right?
First time.
How did you find it?
You see, when I tell my brain, that I've got to do something and I've got to get it right, that day, 9 times out of 10 I will. So I literally just focused so hard for the theory and then just went in and just done it.
Did you find it easy? Because people at home are sometimes really worried about theory tests.
I'm not gonna say it was easy, but if you just use your theory apps that you've got, like I had 2 apps and I was just done a lot of theory tests. Within like a week of just practicing, you'll be alright. So I mean, it's not hard, but it's not easy. But you just gotta practice, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the best app that you used to pass your theory test that the guys at home can use?
Definitely the Theory 4-in-1, I think it was called.
Okay, you used the driving test that says 4-in-1. Yeah, I recommend that one as well. It's got the little games on it as well. It's got all of the questions. If you just learn the questions on the app, the same questions come up in the test, right?
For real. I recommend that one.
It's nice and easy. So we're going to do a little bit of driving. The test is going to last about 38 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
We're going to complete 1 maneuver.
Okay.
And potentially an emergency stop.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to do 20 minutes of independent driving, either following a sat-nav or following road signs.
Okay.
And when I'm directing you, all I want you to do is follow the road ahead, obey all of the road signs, and if I want you to turn left or right, I'll let you know.
No problem.
Which means if we come up to a junction and I don't say anything, you're just going to go straight on, yeah? Okay, cool. That's the same little speech they give you at the beginning of the driving test. So now you're used to it, now you know how the test works. You're going to be absolutely acing your real test.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's the goal. So before we start, the examiner is also going to ask you to test your eyesight. Do you wear glasses, contact lenses? No? Okay, do you know that your eyes are fine?
My eyes are fine.
Okay, let's read that number plate in front of us.
LW03RKV.
Oh my God, excellent. Big tick in the box. Now you're starting to feel confident. The test is going well. Next, let's ask a tell me question. Okay. So, Ronzo, can you tell me how to adjust your headrest so it provides the best protection in the event of an accident?
So, you got to do it like in line with your eyes. So, do you just...
Yeah, you don't actually have to show them how you adjust it.
Oh, okay.
You can say, I want it in line with my ears and eyes. Yeah, brilliant. That's it. Now you've got a second tick in the box. You're super confident. The examiner's going to ask you to move on, and you've got 2 things right already. The rest is just driving and then maneuver and come back.
Okay.
All right, ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Seatbelts on. Oh, you've already got your seatbelt on?
Yeah.
Just me. Before we set off on the driving test, the examiners won't talk to you.
Okay.
Cool? Just to let you concentrate. I'm going to do the same. But if you need any help or assistance, just let me know. Yeah?
Okay.
Cool.
Question.
Go on.
Do I have to check yeah, I probably still do have to check because we're still here and I know that there's nothing behind us, do I still have to check all my...
To be safe on the sorry?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay, sat nav's on, just follow that until I tell you otherwise. And it's a left out of the test center.
Okay.
Welcome to another mock driving test, and this time we're at Wood Green with prolific YouTuber and all-around nice guy, Ronzo. If you haven't seen what he does, there's a link to his channel in the description, check him out. As always, I'll be in the commentary throughout the driving test, letting you know when Ronzo does something good, when he does something not so good, and anything else that you need to look out for if you're taking your driving test. Ronzo's test isn't that far off, so let's get in the comments and wish him luck, or if you've got any hints or tips for him on his driving, note it down so he can read it. While you're there, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can catch the next mock test when it drops, which will have me in the hot seat. Hopefully I pass. Ronzo's planning ahead is excellent. He spotted the blue car really early, but he's braked way too hard and stopped too soon. The car that was travelling closely behind us has been caught off guard, has had to react really quickly, and as a result has stopped behind us with inches to spare. There's a good 30 metres clear space in front of us, which Ronzo could have used to brake more gently. Coming up is a slightly confusing instruction from the sat-nav.
Turn left, then turn right.
As Ronzo rounds this corner, you can see there's no right turn. The road just bends right.
Turn right.
The sat-nav is just a computer with a map loaded into it. It can't see the actual junction or road layout, so when it gives a direction, make sure the final decision on how you use the junction is based on what you can see out of the windscreen.
Alright, great. I'd like you to pull up on the left in a safe place.
Ronzo thought his signal might be a bit early and misleading because he was passing a junction. He's recognised his mistake and corrected it, so I'm not going to give a fault here.
When you're ready, drive on.
On your driving test, the examiner will pull you over multiple times to check how you park and move off again. Ronzo's observation checks look super thorough, but the blind spot check is the most important. That's where cyclists and motorbikes will be hiding. Ronzo missed a check over his right shoulder, so he earned a driver fault here.
After 200 yards, bear left, then, at the end of the road, turn right.
Ronzo's use of gears is interesting, and I talked to him about it at the end of the test. He's just gone into third gear at 15 miles an hour. He should have been around 20 to use third. Nothing bad happened on this occasion, but it will be an issue later on. Stay tuned to see why.
Bear left, then, at the end of the road, turn right.
On the TomTom system, bear left or right means that the junction's more than 90 degrees. Ronzo's done well not to signal here and just follow the road around to the left.
At the end of the road, turn right.
Again, Ronzo's reacted really dramatically here. It felt like an emergency stop from inside the car, but the road ahead is clear. We should have driven past the grey car turning around, but if he really felt it necessary to stop, there was enough space ahead of us to brake smoothly. There was nothing behind us on this occasion, but he still earned a driver fault. If this is how he'll drive with a full licence, he'll eventually get rear-ended and his fly whip won't look so shiny anymore.
Turn right.
We've stopped really close to this learner car on a slight hill. We don't know how good at driving they are, and they could slip off the clutch and roll back into us. Also, we're now putting them under undue pressure. The correct stopping distance behind another vehicle is one imaginary car in between you both, so you can see their tyres on the road from the driving seat. Ronzo is travelling slower than appropriate on this road. It's pretty wide with minimal hazards and no parked cars. You can see quite far ahead, so he should be near 20 miles an hour, not hanging around 15.
After 200 yards, turn left.
Your examiner won't think you're safer if you drive like a granny. They'll realise you're holding up vehicles behind, and if you get a full licence, you'll be creating traffic jams unnecessarily.
Turn left. At the end of the road, turn right. Turn right.
We're about to turn onto the A10 Great Cambridge Road. Note the speed limit on the left, it's an easy one to miss.
At the end of the road, turn left. Turn left.
Ronzo's accelerating gently and not going past 30 miles an hour. It feels like he might have missed the 40 miles an hour sign. But I'm not going to give him a fault here. This is an appropriate speed for the road, bearing in mind there's traffic coming up.
After 400 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
There was this much traffic here.
Always on this road, yeah, especially before this roundabout, there's always traffic here.
Imagine if this happened on your road test.
But, so would time still be going though, like on my test? Yeah. So it's like I don't know if I would want this on my road test or not. Or do you think it was just better to just have less cars? Because like when you're in traffic, you're not driving as much. So it's like,
but you're still following a set route.
yeah, it's true.
35 minutes is up, and then they say switch off your engine.
Is the true.
You might just be driving for a bit longer if you get stuck in traffic. Wood Green for you, traffic jam.
Are you allowed to talk to yourself during a test? Like,
yeah, it's really good. It's a really good tactic actually.
Okay.
Giving yourself a commentary.
Yeah.
Is really good.
Okay.
Because then not only it helps you and keeps you focused.
Yeah.
The examiner knows what you're doing as well. Knows what you're thinking.
I might do that.
So if you do something weird, they'll know why.
After 200 yards, go
Makes
right
sense.
on the roundabout and take the third exit.
Third exit. Okay. I don't want to stop here because there's going to be a slight hill start. That's why I'm just trying to wait till the traffic lights change so I can just drive with everyone else.
Ronzo's plan makes sense, but you do need to keep up with traffic. There are correct following distances and stopping distances, and you need to keep to them to demonstrate you can drive properly. He's not so far back that I'd give him a fault, but don't employ this tactic on your test.
Go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
On the chat afterwards, Ronzo said he wasn't confident with hill starts, so after we switched the cameras off, I gave him a thorough lesson on how to deal with hills properly. If you're not confident setting off on a hill, let your instructor know so they can help you with it. Or I did a video quite a while back on how to deal with stalling on manoeuvres in traffic and on hills. It's in your top right now, bookmark it for later. Ronzo's cancelled his signal halfway round the roundabout. He's turning right, so he needs to keep the right signal on until he's gone past the last exit before his, which is this one, and then signal left.
Take the exit.
Ronzo needs to make an effort to move back into the left lane after exiting that roundabout. He's now travelling in the overtaking lane without needing to overtake or turn right.
After 800 yards, take the exit, then keep left.
Keep left here.
Okay.
Ronzo was about to merge onto the dual carriageway, but we need to exit at the next junction. I've helped him with directions, which your examiner will do as well if they can see you about to go the wrong way. You won't get a driver fault for this, but this road is 50 miles an hour and we're travelling at under 30, which is too slow. On your driving test, it's really important to be very confident at driving, so you can spend some focus on things like looking ahead, which Ronzo's excellent at, and spotting signs like the one on the left, which Ronzo is not so good at. Let's see if he gets past 20 on the next road. You would do a speed like 15 miles an hour on a narrow residential road with parked cars on both sides and poor visibility of what's on the pavement. We can't get up to the speed limit, which is 30 here, but we should be driving faster than this.
Alright Ronzo, when it's safe to do so, I'd like you to show me how you'd operate the rear demister. Great, thanks.
After 200 yards, turn right. Turn right. At the end of the road, turn right. Turn right.
Okay, I'd like you to stop on the left just before the dark blue car. Okay, great. I want you to move off from here and reverse part back into this position.
Okay.
Keep it reasonably close to the curb.
Okay.
And don't finish more than 2 car lengths away from the car in front.
Okay, and it doesn't matter about the cars on
Don't worry
this
about the
side.
driveways, yeah.
I've asked Ronzo to do a parallel park here. He's actually really good at parking, but watch his observation.
At the end of the road, turn right, then turn left.
That was not a right blind spot check. He's still not looked over his right shoulder, and he's really concerned with what's going on in his mirror, but not paying attention to what's around him. The car control here is actually superb. On your driving test, you don't need to be good at parking, you need to be safe and in control of the car. He's perfectly in control of the car, but anything could be happening behind him right now and he's just not looking at it. But the finish is excellent.
Great, that'll do. Drive on when you're ready.
Ronzo's moving off here and he's not properly checking his blind spot again. He's just glanced out of the window, which won't show him any motorbikes and cyclists that are hiding where his mirrors can't see.
Turn right, then turn left. Turn left, then turn left. Turn left, then turn right.
Ronzo is doing this left-right chicane in third gear. The car is well below the speed it's comfortable at in third gear, so it's trying to speed up, even though he's not pressing the gas pedal.
Turn right.
The car isn't fully in his control, which is why, if you're driving a manual, it's really important to be able to recognise what gear you should be in for the speed you're doing.
That's great. I want you to stop on the left in a safe place. You don't have to use the curb. Okay, great. That's the end of independent driving. I'm going to direct you from here.
No problem.
All right? Drive on when you're ready.
We are moving off without another proper blind spot check. On your driving test, you can get up to 15 driver faults, but only between 3 and 5 for the same mistake. This many blind spot checks missed would definitely earn Ronzo a serious fault.
At the end of the road, turn right.
We have now completed independent driving, which is where you follow a sat-nav or road signs for 20 minutes. For the rest of the driving test, Ronzo will be given verbal directions back to the driving test centre by me. Look at this silver car steaming along the road to our left. This is a demonstration of what a fantastic and capable driver Ronzo is. If he hadn't stopped here, he would have certainly been involved in an accident with this car. The driver was not looking to her right or slowing down for the giveaway line, which Ronzo recognised and avoided writing off my Mercedes. He'll surely pass his real test if he drives normally, checks his blind spots and doesn't try to impress the examiner by driving everywhere very slowly. He owns a Corsa VXR. I can't imagine he drives it like he's driving for me.
At the end of the road, turn left, then at the traffic lights, turn left again.
Ronzo was maybe making too much effort to avoid the motorbike or was over-concentrating on the direction I'd given him, but he was heading straight for the curb here. I've assisted him with steering, but watch to the end. We're going to debate it after the test.
And turn left again. Traffic lights, we're going to turn right.
At these traffic lights, yeah?
Yep.
We are just merging to the right, not crossing lanes here, but we need to signal before we get to a stop. If there was a car following behind us going straight, they'd need to know we were turning right because they could pass us on the left, especially as there's a queue here and we are hanging out onto the lane that goes straight ahead. And again here, we're stopped very close to another car on a hill. We should be further back, especially as it's a learner.
This way.
This road looks really busy. It's the kind of high street setting where pedestrians can walk out in front of you and cars can come from left and right. You're going to have to be really sharp to drive on this road. I know Ronzo can cope with this. I'm not giving Ronzo any directions here, so he knows he's going straight ahead. Did you spot the blue sign on the left? We're driving at about 2 p.m. here, so the bus lane is open and Ronzo should be driving in it. This is an excellent piece of anticipation here. He's spotted the traffic across the yellow box and he's paused just for a second. As the traffic starts moving again, he sets off. This bus lane on our left past the football stadium is 7 a.m. till 1 p.m. Because it's past 1 p.m, it's not an active bus lane and Ronzo should be driving in it. Watch what happens next. If we were travelling in the bus lane like we should have been, we wouldn't have got held up by this vehicle turning right, the white van wouldn't have passed us on the left, and we would probably be at the end of this road by now.
And the traffic lights, turn right.
This signal timing is late. We need to signal before we get to a junction, especially as you can also go straight from this lane so that any cars behind us can move left and not get held up by us turning right. Ronzo dealt with this junction really well. He couldn't see past the bus, so he waited until his light went red so that he could be sure there was no traffic coming ahead of him.
Alright, cool. The test centre's just on our right. We're going to take the next road on the left and stop off so we can chat, yeah?
No problem.
Stop here behind the blue car. Okay, handbrake neutral. Yeah, great. Alright, Ronzo, that's the end of your driving test. How do you think it went?
I think it went pretty good, you know. There's two things that I think I'm going to say that could have been better.
Okay.
One of them was when you touched the wheel, but I feel like I had it, but obviously, you know, if you felt like you needed to do that, fair enough. There was that, and then just after that, I had to turn right, and then I thought I had to not do a U-turn, but it's confusing. But I meant to take a right, and then you just told me no, this is the way.
Oh yeah, when that learner turn
yeah,
did a U-turn.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The examiner will help you with directions if they can see you going off course. You can't get marked down for that. They don't know that you live near Wood Green.
Yeah. Okay.
So you could be from South London, you could be from Essex. They'll help you with directions because you aren't expected to know the area. Don't worry about that. But yes, let's talk about that when I touch the steering wheel. So what I was looking at, and remember you can't argue with your examiner. So as soon as they're like, oh, this is out of my control, they're going to help you. There was a motorbike coming towards you.
Okay.
And you were steering left to avoid the motorbike.
Okay.
But the road was bending right.
Okay.
So I could see you veering into the curb, and we're not going to discuss it. I'm just going to steer you away from the curb. Yeah. Cool. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And there was one more thing. When I was like not joining on, I was joining onto the dual carriageway. I thought I had to join, but I literally just had to stay in the same lane, and you just told me, just.
Oh
stay in the same
again,
lane.
that's directions, so I didn't mark you down for that at all.
Okay.
There was a couple more things. If you didn't clock it.
Yeah.
Bus lanes. Let's talk about bus lanes. When can you use bus lanes? When can't you use bus lanes? Never. Sometimes. Always.
Sometimes I think on certain ones you can.
Yeah.
But
were you reading the bus lane signs to find out when you can use them?
Yeah. No.
Okay, so I didn't think so. When we went past, when we were going past White Hart Lane, football stadium.
Yeah. Oh, I was in the bus lane.
You weren't in the bus lane.
Oh.
The times on that bus lane was until 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And it's past 1 o'clock, so you could have been in it.
Okay. Wow.
And because you're not in it, you're in the overtaking lane. So you know that we always drive on the left, that's the driving lane.
Okay, yeah.
If you're not in the left lane, then you're in the overtaking lane.
Yeah.
We were going quite slowly.
Yeah.
Other people want to go faster because they got bits to do. So there was a van that undertook you using the bus lane.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I was like, well, he can do that because he's driving in the bus lane, so...
It wasn't an active bus lane though.
So
you should have been driving in the bus lane. And actually, if you were driving in the bus lane, we could have skipped a lot of traffic.
Yeah. But I was like, I just didn't want to take the risk, but that's crazy. So I got marked down for not driving in the bus lane, and usually you're not supposed to.
Well, you have to read the sign to find out when you're not supposed to.
Okay.
So what the bus lane sign is telling you is the first bit on the sign is bus lane.
Okay.
The next bit on the sign is times. So
okay.
it's saying it's a bus lane at these times.
Okay.
So if it's not those times, you should be driving in it. It's not a bus lane, it's the left lane. Yeah, cool. So now you've learned something.
Yeah.
You can take this forward onto your real test.
Yeah.
There was a couple more things that you can learn from on this mock test that you will need to improve on.
Okay.
So it's lucky that we did this now because it's just a practice that you can then go and pass your real test. I feel like your driving style is of someone who's had a few lessons and is only just getting out onto the road for the first time, like big main roads.
Okay.
You drive very slowly. Do you normally drive like that, or is that for my benefit?
That was
because you've got a VXR. I don't imagine that you drive.
I was paying attention to that so much. I was like, let me, because that's what I usually do. I drive over it. So I was like,
you drive over what?
Like this, not over the speed limit.
No, you can't say that on video.
Yeah, nah. I don't drive slow. Like I'm just on the speed limit. Like
so you were just doing that for my benefit. I tell you what, then that's the wrong way to think about it, because the examiners are not just looking at you driving too fast, like over the speed limit. They don't want you to drive too slow either, because then that holds people up behind, and people get annoyed. Like that white van who went to undertake us. Yeah. There was quite a few points, and I wrote down 4 driving minors. From where you were going way too slow for the road. So for example, on the big dual carriageway, after we passed the roundabout,
that as well.
you were doing like 30 miles an hour.
And I tried to,
you sped up.
Yeah, I realised.
On Lordship Lane, you were going 15 to 20 miles an hour. It's a 30 road.
Yeah,
so we're like 15 miles an hour under the speed limit. There's cars behind and a massive gap in front of us, so we're holding everyone up. We're an inconvenience on the road, right? So I gave you 4 driver faults for that. That would be enough to turn it into a major. So we need to be speeding up and keeping up with the traffic. Not pushing over the speed limit, but at least keeping up with traffic when there's massive gaps ahead of us. The next thing was, and we talked about this before your driving test.
Mirrors.
No. Driving, stopping too close to cars in front. So most of the time, you're like this. Really close, bumper to bumper. What do you think the danger is of doing that?
If the car rolls back.
Yes, we're putting a lot of trust in that driver for them to not roll back into us on a hill start, because you know hill starts are difficult. You don't know how good they are at driving. They could not even have a driving license. So you're putting a lot of trust. What if the car behind is looking at their phone and smashes into the back of you? You've got no buffer zone now to not hit the car in front. Have you ever seen when there's like 5 cars all crashed into each other and you're like, how did that happen? Yeah, they're all too close to each other in traffic. That's how that happens.
Makes sense.
So that's a problem. I gave you 3 driver faults for that. But to be honest, you probably did it more than 3 times. And that's one to look for. I'm going to give you this to take away so you can learn from all of these mistakes and improve on it. The next one, moving off safely, your blind spot checks at the beginning were spot on every single time, but then it was just a point that happened on your driving test, and every time you moved off after that,
I wasn't checking my...
Never checked the blind spot.
Oh, shall I tell you what it was then? I was checking my mirrors, these, but I weren't looking behind like that, because I thought that you should only do that when you're at a complete stop. Then you got to do that. But when there's just like a traffic light in front.
When there's traffic lights. No.
So then
when you're parked on the left or right, when you're parked up on the road, you need to check the blind
I didn't
spot.
check my blind spots.
No, at the beginning you were checking it, and then after I stopped you one time, you didn't check it. It was just the stop before the maneuver. You can watch it back in the video and notice that you just stopped checking it.
Will do.
Have a look around over your shoulder. See that 30 sign? Have a look if you can see that in the mirror.
No,
it's not there. Look how much you had to turn your head to look at that. So you can't just turn your head a little bit and say I check the blind spot. You have to do an actual proper physical head turn to catch everything that's in the blind spot, and it's really important that you do that every time you move off. Okay, good. The next thing, this was interesting. I gave you 3 marks for foot brake because I can tell how far ahead you're planning and how quickly you're spotting hazards on the road. Oh my God, when that woman was across the giveaway line, you spotted that from so far back. What were you looking at to tell you she was about to do that?
I was just, I don't know, like I could see when she was, like she did not look to her right, so I was like, she's probably gonna go, so then I was just like,
that was amazing. That alone sometimes, if there weren't so many mistakes, might be enough to get you a driving license, because that was amazing. She didn't look to the right, she wasn't slowing down, and you stopped for her to avoid an accident. That would have been a definite collision if you had carried on. But then other times you're spotting things so far in advance, but you're reacting too dramatically. Because you're spotting it so far in advance, you can react smoothly for the car behind to not have to smash on their brake too. So there's just too much braking and it's too far back. Imagine you're following a car and you can see a problem in front of them, but the problem is 100 meters down the road. Where do you think they would start braking, and how hard do you think they would start braking? If the problem's 100 meters down the road, they're not going to smash on the brakes straight away.
Like when they're about 10, 15 meters
away. 10, 15 meters away, and they're going to brake smoothly. They've seen it far enough back so that they can smoothly brake for the problem, like the pedestrian walking out.
I feel like with this test, I was trying to be so cautious. Like anything I saw, I was just like, let me just slow it down, get back to normal ways. So
anything you saw, you were like, stop!
Yeah.
Okay, but we can't react like that because the car behind will get taken off guard. They've probably seen that, but they're not expecting you to emergency stop for a pedestrian walking out 100 meters down the road. Okay, cool. Gears. When do you change into third gear?
When I'm about 20, 25.
Yes. Okay, cool. So you're changing into third gear. In my car, I don't know if you do that in your car, but you're changing into third gear at 15 miles an hour. That's too early. The car hasn't got enough push then. And then what happens is you're slowing down, and I gave you 2 marks for gears. You're slowing down then, trying to take a junction or a roundabout at 15 miles an hour, and you're pressing the brake, but as soon as you come off the brake, the car's trying to recover that speed and bring it back up to that base level for third gear without you pressing any gas. So you're speeding up without intentionally doing it because you're in the wrong gear. Okay, so that's incorrect. Just make sure that you're practicing your gear changes and making sure, even if you're, who do you normally drive with? Your mum?
My mum,
make sure that she catches all of these mistakes as well. You can explain this to her so that she can be hot on these mistakes. And if you do it, you need pulling up on it straight away because you don't have an instructor anymore, do you?
Nah, not right now.
Okay, cool. Might be worth taking a couple lessons just before the test. These are things that you can fix. You got a lot because you were trying to look too safe. Which is a really good lesson for anybody else. Just drive normally on your driving test. Don't try and make stuff up. Drive like you've done on driving lessons.
I feel like the mistakes that I made, they're stuff that I can really, like, I don't think I need help with, like, it's just me just telling myself, alright, you know, don't stop in front of a car that close, like, just keeping, I feel like if there were more major ones, then it would be a thing where I'd need, like, a lot more lessons, or, I don't know, I feel like a couple more lessons and I'll be good because I'm a confident driver. Like
you're super confident. You know what you're doing with the car. Your control of the car is amazing. That's what I said on the maneuver, and actually that's a theme for your driving. It's just a couple of tweaks and you will have this in the bag. If I was in my car, I feel like I would have been way more confident, but this was, I like this car though. It's very nice, very nice. Really nice. So, I want to know when you pass.
Hopefully.
And if you need any hints or tips, just hit me up.
No problem.
Okay? If you've got any help for Ronzo, put it in the comments. If you've got any questions about what happened on his driving test, if you've got any debates that you can have with me about what I gave him majors and minors for.
That one major about when you done that.
Put it in the comments and we'll debate it. But thank you very much for coming down to see us.
Thank you.
Good luck with your real test.
Appreciate it.
On no specified date?
Nah, I've got a specified date, but
we're not giving a specified date.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, you know, turn on post notifications.
You can tell he's a professional. Guys, thank you very much for watching the video. Catch you guys in the next one. Ronzo, peace.
In a bit.